I'm a passionate content creator. I'm a committed team builder. I wasn't interested in doing just one thing. Live television is 24/7. You don't get a chance to do it again. You have to be prepared all the time. Hi, I'm Shereen Bhan. You're in the newsroom, but we're not doing the news. I'm the Hautestepper on Hautefly, so stay tuned to find out more. Who is Shereen? Shereen is a passionate content creator, a very committed team builder, a workaholic on most days. I don't take myself very seriously, and if I'm not working, you'll find me hanging upside down. What you see on television is the finished product, and it looks like it's easy. It looks like it's, we're all dressed well, our hair and makeup is done, but the behind the scenes is a completely different story altogether. We work long hours. We work 12 hours, 16 hours, 18 hours. There are days when we, usually work weekends, 7 days a week. There are days when on holidays you're called in because there's a breaking news situation. So this is a high pressure, high intensity job. It's a job that extracts a lot of you. It extracts a lot of your personal time. I, for instance, have not been able to switch my phone off ever because you never know when you're going to get that call saying you need to be in the studio, this news is broken. And you have to learn to live in that environment. You have to learn to make peace with that environment. And the only way you can do that is if you genuinely love what you do. I am passionate about what I do. I was very clear when I got into the media that, I wasn't interested in doing just one thing. I was happy writing, I was happy helping out with the camera, I was happy designing and conceptualizing shoots. I've always, ideated and also then taken those ideas to execution. And I think that's versatility, the emphasis on multitasking has made me understand my craft better, but it's also made me understand the challenges that somebody else has to go through. I understand when a camera person tells me, Madam, isme 10 minute nahi, 15 minute lagenge. I understand why he's saying that. I understand when an editor says this will take me 2 shifts and not 1 shift. I understand why he's saying that. I understand when my show producer says that I'm not going to be able to put this show together in 30 minutes. I understand where they're coming from, and I think that gives you a better understanding of how this business works, what it takes, who puts what on the table. Boss Wala life, I will tell you very simply, I am a team player. I'm not necessarily a team leader, which means that there is hierarchy, that I'm right here and everybody else is below me. That's not how I operate. My doors are wide open. My phone line is always accessible. I'm always on my email. So if anybody wants to reach out to me, they can. I'm fair, I'm judicious, but I'm also a hard taskmaster. So if something needs to get done, it needs to get done in the best way possible. You get used to being in this high-pressure environment. It is live, it's 24/7. Imagine being inside a pressure cooker, right? That's what it feels like. It's constant. The steam is building up, and at sometimes, jaise seeti bajti hai, that's exactly what happens, where sometimes when the pressure gets too much, you do want to vent, and you will see this happen in the newsroom. Sometimes you'll see somebody scream, sometimes you'll see somebody shout, there will be an argument, but at the end of the day, once the show is done and the show goes off well, the same people will get together, will sort of exchange notes about it, have a laugh about what went on, but it is a high pressure environment and there's absolutely no taking away from it. This business of self-doubt, this business of not being good enough, this is something that we live with all the time, and I think women more so feel the self-doubt and this pressure much more than the men do. And I've battled with it through the course of my career. I mean, every time I finished an interview or a show, I would always play it back in my head and say, was it good enough? Could I have asked better questions? Could I have done a better show? But this is something that's real. It is something that all of us, and I've spoken to many women in positions of power, everyone has spoken about this. You think that you're the only one who's feeling this way? Remember, you are not. Successful women feel the pressure. Successful women feel scrutinized. Successful women feel judged. And you just have to accept that this is the reality. And it takes confidence. It takes courage. It takes experience to be able to get to that point of saying, we don't care that much about what other people think. What we care more about is how I feel in my skin. And I think that I'm at that point today. Top story this evening, celebrations in many parts of the country, with the mood in the Kashmir Valley is somber. Section 144 in place. Voices from North Block are discouraging talks of large SOPs or a large stimulus. The Cafe Copy Day founder VG Siddharth has been laid to rest. People want news for a specific reason. People want to be informed. People want credible information. People want to make choices based on the information that you give them. If we were just pretty faces but we didn't know what we were talking about, you think people would have given us the time of the day? Do you think people would have tuned into us for even 5 minutes if they didn't believe that the information we were giving them had gravitas, that there was a sense of authority behind what we were saying? If you add value to the audience's life, if you add value to their decision making, they will connect with you. They will pick up that remote and tune into you night after night, irrespective of what you look or don't look like. Well, I think the most common stereotype is that if a woman looks a certain way, then she can't be good at anything else but looking beautiful. And I think that is just the most nonsensical stereotype that needs to be called out every time we encounter it. I think one of the other common stereotypes is that women are good at, at least in the media, good at softer stories, feature stories, entertainment, and so on and so forth. And that's not true at all. Here at CNBC TV 18, our banking editor is a woman, our pharma editor is a woman, our commodities editor is a woman. We often deny women the opportunities, deny women the ability to be able to do something because, you will say that, women are not ready for the hard stuff. Women will not be able to go out there and work long hours outdoors. Women will not be able to go out on the field.
Your first time on screen?
My first time on screen was 22 years ago when I anchored my first program called India Business Morning.
Who's your favorite journalist?
My favorite journalist? I don't have one particular favorite, but there are a bunch of people that I respect and admire for the work that they do. Mentors and people that I grew up watching, Panoy Roy, Karan Thapar.
Beauty for you?
Confidence.
What soothes you after a tiring day?
A good meal. That always helps.
You're the closest to?
I have a bunch of very close friends that I rely on and depend on. I'm very close to my parents and my sister as well.
Most adventurous experience?
Most adventurous experience that I've had is flying a Gripen fighter pilot in Sweden. I am the daughter of an Air Force fighter pilot. My father was in the Indian Air Force, and so being able to get on board a fighter jet and fly a 60-minute sortie for me was the craziest, the most fun and the most adventurous and the coolest thing that I've done.
One irresistible street food?
Spicy bhel puri.
What do you love and hate about being a woman?
I don't hate anything about being a woman. There's plenty to love. I think I enjoy the fact that we are pretty high on emotional quotient, high on empathy, and that is something that I believe that works very well for me. We have the ability to go to battle. We have the ability to give birth at the same time. And I don't think that that is something that the men can ever have the opportunity to take away from us. So I think just the fact that we can do so much more, that's what I love about being a woman.
One song that gets you dancing?
Don't Stop Believing by Journey.
Do you have like a favorite dance step that you can just do anywhere?
No, I do not have a favorite dance step that I can do for you on camera.